Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today for our monthly memorial service. I'm Edna Sensei, and officiating today's service will be Reverend Yano. Please join us in prayer. Ichido Hairei. Mediation Prayer, page 2. Let us seek the sacred mediation of Yano, Konko, sincerely and wholeheartedly each and every day. We receive the mediation of you, all of our hearts and souls, on this day, this very moment. Yami Konko, Sama, Yami Konko, Sama, Yami Konko, Sama, Yami Konko, Sama. Purification Prayer. Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine friend. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of our divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and differences from past generations. Guide us in our way of living, to reflect your divine will, with a pure, joyful, loving heart, always one with you. Time prayer. Reverently we pray, the brilliance of heaven, the riches of earth, time grows without cease, years pass without end. In heaven and earth the life that nurtures all, in heaven and earth is the truth that overrules all. For this wondrous form, for these wondrous works, let us praise Tenchi Kaino Kami. Let us praise the divine family of the universe, and love and care for all humanity, all those who live between heaven and earth, to hear Kami as a divine parent, to live Kami's infinite blessings, assistance away. Yet they not knowing the way are lost in greed and selfishness. They suffer the cycle of misfortunes, greatest common sorrow. Our founding father, Konko Daijin, suffered many trials in this world, but held fast to faith and sincerity. We received Kami's great blessing and began a life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. Humbly we pray. The divine parents' great wish was thus fulfilled. Konko Daijin accepted the call to mediation that leads to the mutual benefit of Kami and humanity. By day he taught the way of faith to all who sought him, expounding the blessings of heaven and earth, and he knew not the coming of night. By night he prayed for those who grieved, seeking salvation for all who suffered, and he knew not the dawning of day. Though years passed, the world changed, he did not waver from his task, the divine task of mediation. Thus was given us sacred Tenchi Kakitsuke, the guiding principle for our daily life. The divine favor was thus renewed, and blessings flowed universally, establishing the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation of Yano Daijin. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of the way, through all the hardships of this world, we gain our body and soul. The way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to kind. Without regard for day or night, whether without near or far, the way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. By living in the world of divine favor, we offer our sincere apologies and beg to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine favor. Let us care for those in pain, and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost, and lead them into the life of purpose. Having this fulfilled in us, we are fulfilled in Him. May this way of mutual fulfillment be manifested in this world. May Kami's wish for peace and well-being of all people be fulfilled. So we pray, so we pray. Please find it.
Closing meditation message for the monthly renewal service. In the presence of Kami Konko Daiji, the life of Tenchi Kaino Kami, on behalf of Konko Mission Wahiawa, Yasuhiro Yano, we understand the following prayer. We are gathered here for the monthly renewal service on this day, February 20th, 2022. In this service, we seek to honor and extend our sincere question for blessing we have been able to enjoy to this day, and pray for the spiritual fulfillment of the Nidama spirit of the people who have been affiliated with this church. It is a great honor to serve this church last 45 years along with my wife, Reverend Yano, and our children, and the support of the people in the faith community. After succeeding the late Reverend Hankota Rush, we established this church at the Grand Church of Konko Mission Home in 1940. All of the these blessings were as possible through biblical mediation. We truly appreciate the fortunate encounter and a twist of fate that the Reverend Hankota Rush was saved through encounter with the Reverend Kodama and evoked to become a Konko minister. We have been received their blessings for the time of our ancestors and to all descendants. We receive blessings for living and even after we pass away. In memory and respect toward our deceased ministers, family members, and friends, we pray that the virtue of Kami Konko Daiji Tenchi Kaino Kami enable our spirit to be fulfilled and in peace. This year marks the 82nd year since this church was initiated. None of this would have been possible without your divine guidance, the blessings and support of many people. We continue to extend our prayers for the people of Hawaii throughout the world that are experiencing hardship and suffering. We also apologize and pray for the environment that has been damaged and polluted by the case of chemicals and unsustainable illness preventing humans. The life force Tenchi Kaino Kami is our us to do something to you, helping others most impression each other and guide people who live by his side. Through the virtue we get Konko life and life Tenchi kind of country, be known to people that they can attain peace of mind. I pray that blessing to service is God. Amen.
喜怒哀乐。Repetition 点字書き付け page 6。
やみ根高来天地神の神神霊来神は心にあり今月の日でのみ Praise is with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful, hearing, and harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day we pray. 池上金光大臣天使神の神出身に願えおかげは心にあり今月の日で頼み Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day we pray.
Irish prayer, page 7. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We bow in instant prayer toward earth and gem deep. Living in such gifts of Kami's great giving, how happy and grateful we are. The mediation of Yano Konko Daishin does not stop for a single day. The protection of the divine parent embraces all heart and mind. The blessings of Kami flow without end through all generations. The ways of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami. We honor the power of Kami. Shintoku Sanji, page 29.
仰ぎ祭れば天高く
仰ぎ祭れば天高くおろがみ祭れば地は厚し神の恵みに生かさる海の幸いぞありがたき我が生き神の御取り次ぎ一人も隠る時のなく天地の神の御守りときちがきの隔てなし神慈しみはよろずよにあまねく道で果てしなく感あからいはくすしくて人の思いぞ及ばざる我ら今月今日やび祭りてひたすらに神の御影をたたえ祭らん神の比例を仰ぎ祭らん喜怒哀乐 企業会議。Nitama prayer, page 12. Spirits of those who have gone before us,
You
are given the gift of life in this and this universe, which are duties faithfully each of our of years. You live and work eternally, your life is told from generation to generation, honor as the foundation of our society and the roots of our families. Through the mysterious workings of Kami, you enter the Konko of faith, will walk the way of Konko Daijin, respecting the will of the divine current. You have great merit through your faith to take into the world beyond and live to your descendants. Our gratitude is boundless for your loving favors. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our own divine spirits. We beseech you to stand by us each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami and help us to fulfill our task as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, and enrich us, that we may never lose the way of faith, that we may hand down to all generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity within our homes. Protect us, guide us, and enrich us.
Monthly Memo Service, ICE prayer. The Dharma Street of Founding Minister of Konko Wahiawa, the late Reverend Alcohol Rush, the Reverend Mastaro and Fio Yastagi of Konko Church of Oman, the Reverend Masaiko and Kiki Kodam, Masai and Kiki Kodam, Reverend Masaiko Yoshino of Konko Mission Open, the Reverend Hidejiro and Toshiko Hosaka of Konko Church of College, and the people who have ever been guided and committed to the Konko Mission Wahiawa and depart in the month of February. Thomas Takashi no Mitama no Kami, Ichiro Yano no Mitama no Kami, Ace Fujio Tamashiro no Mitama no Kami, Yoshiyuki Momotami no Mitama no Kami, Umi Yasuyo no Mitama no Royalin Osen no Mitama no Jiro Oho no Mitama no Yurisa Baron no Mitama no Ilwe Chiyoko Oka no Mitama no Seisuki Ryaku no Mitama no Ukiyo Hiramoto no Mitama no Rebecca Jean Florence no Mitama no Doma Teruko Katsura no Mitama no Robert Yoshikazu Hirota no Mitama no Betty Tomie Maisaka no Mitama no Kei Yamamoto no Mitama no Michio Miyake no Mitama no Kelly Takashi Chavez no Mitama no. With deepest reverence, we have gathered here today, February 20th, 2022. Observance of the monthly lunar service, renewed remembrance, honor, appreciation, and praise of those who came before us and became the foundations of blessed lives. On behalf of the Konko Mission Wahiawa, I ask you, Yano, well, to say the following. Every time I speak, each of us has been born into dispo to live through the graceful Tenchi kind of life force. For the moment of perception throughout our lives, we have been immersed and fully saturated with your blessings. One day, we will return to the spiritual form upon departing from our physical existence. I found the Konko line state. Those who are living between heaven and earth are blessed to Tenchi Kainu-kan. Even after death, we shall also receive the blessed Tenchi Kainu-kan. Whether we are living or dead, we must remember that heaven and earth will be always our home. As such, Konko line shows us that there is a relationship in life and death. And I always remember the lesson of our life force transcend time, space, and place, and distance. I found the Konko line related. Our life, that the sun shall upon us is a divine blessing. The rain, the falls is a divine blessing as well. All humans are lost to live in the midst of divine blessings. People born amid divine blessings, still amid divine blessings, and die amid divine blessings. Through divine arrangements, you have been invited to Konko your peace, your diligence and sincerity in pursuit of the teaching of Konko that enable you to understand and appreciate the way of Konko is through the work of divine mediation. Konko Daichi. We offer our humblest respect and sincere adoration for the work of the Thomas. Deepest appreciation, we have gathered today to remember you in appreciation of your work and contributions to our lives in the past and present. Please accept the many offerings placed before you and sincere prayers for all tokens of our sincere thanks for your presence in our lives. Extend our prayers of thanks for your spiritual work as you help, guide, protect, and comfort us in time of need. Extend our deep appreciation and heartfelt gratitude for enabling us to appreciate the operation of this church for the last 82 years. This would not be possible if it was not for you. We pray through your work and karma to come. Konko office will be passed on from generation to generation. And the true blessings of this will be here by the way. Thank you again for all of you.
Gate. Sanji, page 36.
Yoion Wahiawa Wahiawa no Kami wa Kami to Kokoro Tsukushite Tsukimatsu Hana Kokoro Tsukushite Tsukimatsu Hana to Tokimi
人たちよ、海の子のために家の柱を沈め立てたまい、初子のために世のなりわいを守り助けたまい、隔離を伸びえぬ境に増しませども見尽くしみの御心を写し世に変わらせたまわず先にたまのまさきく先はえたまいくしみたまのくしみに恵みたまいて志は薪の柱の動きなくなりわいは結ぶつなめのゆるびなく真心清らに励み努めしめたまいうからやからやわらぎあいて日にけにうらやすく楽しましめたまいついに移し世のことを得て神の御門に参らん時には必ずしも迎え取りたまい美しみをこらしめたまわんものと神の実りの絶えなるおかしこみかたじてなみみ親の恵みのおぼろげならぬ嬉しみ喜び申すことを御心もつづやかに聞こしめしたまえと申す。穴不思議の御親の御霊、穴不思議の御親の御霊、穴とほどの御親の神、穴とほどの御親の神。一度入り。
Let's read together, page 73, the Konko Faith Our Creed. The Konko Faith Our Creed. We believe in
believe in
Tenchi
Tenchi
Kami no Kami, the divine parent of the universe. Our founder, Konko Daiji, embraced Kami's revelation, and as divine mediator, answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami, Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's greatest wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts, hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. We respect and appreciate other paths taken by humanity towards spiritual fulfillment. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today for our monthly memorial service, where we come to honor and appreciate the people who have passed away this month and all other months. Today, I want to talk about dementia. This is a story that my mom shared a few months ago during the Get Today site, the monthly memorial, the monthly service in the nighttime. So she said it in Japanese. I want to share this again because it's a really good story. So my grandmother in Oita, she's in a care home. She's 92, 90, okay, 92. Get mixed up, 92 or 90. So she's 93 years old. She's in a care home. And she seems to be going through some dementia. Although she's pretty with it in her medication, she's really lively, and she still thinks she's a nurse. And then she said, "Wow, there's a lot of patients here today." And she's a patient. Yeah, she's saying, "Oh, there's a lot of patients here today." So she's really cute. Anyway, she's 93 years old, and she still believes that her husband and her daughter are still alive, and they have passed away several years ago. So every so often, my uncle, or her son, yeah, because her son, goes to the care home to visit her. And it's during the pandemic, so they can't even, hug or nothing. It's behind the glass window, and you can't even hear them because, the sound is muffled, right? So it's like really short. You can only see your loved one for a very short time. And so every so often, my grandma would ask her son, "How's Pops doing? How's Hiroko doing?" her daughter. And my uncle would kindly remind her, "They passed away already several years ago. They died already. They're not here." And hearing that, my grandma was cheerful, seeing her son come and visit her. Yet hearing that her husband had died, her daughter had died, it just suddenly, her facial expression suddenly changed. Because my uncle, he takes these short videos every time he visits grandma, and he sends them to me via Instagram messaging. So, and then I could see my grandma's facial expression just change, from like a smile to like a really saddened facial expression. But in the video, she insisted, "But I just talked to them the other day, I just talked to Pops and my daughter the other day." So these short visits that they are allowed without any physical contact is supposed to be mood lifters, They're supposed to lift the mood of the patient. But when she heard that her husband and her daughter had died, it brought back all the sadness, the grief, all over again. And so when we go to see people in the hospital or the care homes, when the person you're going to see is trying to heal, or they are in low energy, which they usually are, it is very important for you to come with a cheerful heart. Very important. So go visit them with the care, and be careful not to decrease their energy because they're trying to heal by saying something really depressing, It's so funny because the other day on Facebook I saw this posting, and it said that when you're in the hospital, your white friends will tell you, "I hope you get better soon. But then your Asian friends would say, I know someone who died from the same thing. And they'll say these depressing things. It's kind of funny. We try to correct people with dementia and by telling them our reality, right? But when in fact they have their own reality. And in my grandma's case, her husband and daughter were physically gone, but to her, they are true, like totally alive still. I remember in psychiatric nursing, in nursing school, when we were learning psychiatric nursing school, the professor told us, don't correct these people who like hallucinate or who see things or hear things, because that's their reality. So just say, okay, yeah, I believe what you are seeing is true. And don't try to say, oh no, there's no one in the room. I don't know who you're talking to. Like don't say that. Accept it. Accept what they are seeing and hearing and acting. So anyways, my mom and I, we reminded our uncle to tell her, not to tell her that they have died. But instead, when grandma asks, oh, how is Pops, how is Hiroko doing? Just reassure her that, oh, they are doing good, they are doing fine. And then she's gonna be happy. So my mom's reasoning for this is that since my grandma, she's nearing the end of her life, or 90s, you're not gonna, it's not like you're gonna live another 10, 20 years. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. But she's already slowly transitioning into the Mitama world. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, and, it brought goosebumps in my skin. My skin got all chicken skin, and it's so reasonable and such a good explanation. Anyways, what is real? What is reality anyways? Everything is like the Matrix. Everything is like pretty much a hologram. What we're living in right now, it's probably a hologram. So what you think is real may actually not be real. And it's really an interesting world we live in. So anyways, the other day I had a patient who was very, demented is what we say. Or maybe I shouldn't even use that word anymore. And she would have these full-on conversations with somebody or people in the room that are not even there. She's the only one in the room. And she's talking the whole day for hours and hours to no physical person. And it's like these people are speaking back to her. Her conversations are so clear. So I'll give you an example about what she sounded like. She's like, oh, Rhonda, did you see that picture that I sent you the other day? And she's like, yeah, funny, wasn't it? Do you remember those days? No. I sent you the picture from the trip, the one you and I went to. Yeah, that's the one. That was pretty embarrassing picture, right? But it was great. You could come too. What was that again? Oh, you mean Bob? He's doing great. We had coffee the other day. And it's like, wow, this lady's amazing, There's no one in the room, but she's having this full-on conversation. So anyways, in the conversation was like, that's how it was. And for report, I had to get handoff report from the night shift because they're going off and I'm coming on. And the night shift nurse was like, this lady is crazy. She talks to herself all night long. Didn't even go to sleep. But I was convinced that she was already transitioning into the Mitama world so she can communicate freely with these deceased people. So I was very excited for her, to witness this. So, and when my day was done and I gave handoff report to the oncoming nurse, I didn't tell her that this was a demented lady or she's crazy. So I told her that this lady was communicating with people we cannot see, but she can. So, but the nurse was like, okay. She looked at me kind of funny, but I was convinced that this was the case. So anyway, the next time you visit someone who has dementia or anyone in the hospital, go there with a cheerful attitude and don't be quick to judge that they have gone mad or they're crazy or they're demented. You go to visit people to give good healing energy, and that's really the greatest gift you can give to them, better than flowers. So, and it's free. It's free, right? The energy that you give is free, but try not to give negative energy, okay? So I hope you can take this message and apply it in your own way. respect the eternal world and the whole transitioning process, which is really exciting. It's a wondrous thing. I remember when I was in Gakuin, my Gakuin classmate had this app on her phone, and she was just trying to test everybody. She tried to put everyone's like date of birth, your name, and some information. And she's like, with this app, it can determine when you're going to die and what your final words are going to be. And I was like, oh my goodness. So she said, Edna, what's your birthday and what and some other information. So I told her, and she said, oh, and she was like laughing. And she was like, Edna, you're going to die at age 87, and your final words are going to be, where am I? Well, before I know, when I was younger, I was like, oh man, it would be such to be dementia when I age. But nowadays, I'm like totally fine if I get dementia, because you know what? I'll never know. I'll never know that I'm dementia. And it makes the whole transitioning into the death process more simple, because the people will not miss me anymore. They'll be like, okay, just go already. Oh, you're irritating. And I'll be like, where am I? No, so my mom says dementia or just forgetting process. People are terrified of dementia. People are scared to get dementia, to lose all their memories but it's actually a wondrous thing. My mom said, and I was like, how is it a wondrous thing? And she said, because it'll make the people that are like your supporters be like easy to let you go, and you'll be easier to let go of everything. And I was like, that's so true. So yeah, just take that, and more. It's interesting, just how you think. It just changes everything, right? Like you feel sorry at one point, but just with a switch of thought, it's like, oh wow, that's an amazing blessing actually. But anyways, just wanted to share it. Before I go, I wanted to share this teaching that the Konko Daijin said about visiting the sick people too. There's a teaching. Gorikai 1, Yamamoto Sarajiro, number 36-3. When visiting a sick person, instead of making him feel worse by shedding tears and caressing him pitifully, express kindness to him and his family. Some people bewail the sick person after seeing how sick he is or how much weight he has lost. They tell his family depressing stories about other sick people. For him and his family, these depressing stories will leave no room for Kami's blessings. Making them worry won't make it a consolation visit. Say reassuring words to strengthen the sick person's heart and tell his family not to worry or to be in pain. Encourage them as much as you can. There are many ways you can help. If they are poor, you can give money or grains. Be concerned for all things and practice faith. And so I just want to share that teaching. Thank you very much. I'll end. actually dead, maybe. Yeah. Oh, now it's on.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
We are just closed the monthly lunar service. This month, February, the most people die, more than twice the regular month. I don't know why. Maybe the weather can be one of the reasons. Anyway, I listened to Edna Sensei's speech. I remember I just had a thought. We live kind of transition into the next world after death. So every single day can be a day step into the world after death. Like that. Some people say, if each day as if it's the last day of your life. Anything can be happening to the Konko said, as you maybe welcome the evening, think that this is the end of the year. And when the day breaks out, think this is the New Year's day. Or this live with this spiritual every single day. This can be the most interesting message. Anyway, yesterday my wife and I joined Osaki Kyokai's Zoom conference. It was in Facebook, so I applied from the mainland, Edna Sensei from Chicago Church of Attending. So one of the people from Australia may be joined, I'm not sure. And one church, head minister of another location was also joining this session. About at the peak, 18 people respond to this conference. Usually about 11 people was regular attending. And one of the theme of the conference is Tenchi Katsu. Reverend Moto Tanaka, head minister, not head minister, minister of the church, made a presentation about 20 or 25 minutes about historical background of Tenchi Katsu. Actually, this message was given by Konko Daijin, but Kamisei, at a very desperate period of his life. The authority prohibited to engage in his missionary work or religious work. So policemen came and took all the offerings, trees. So that actually is so empty, buried place. The founder was confined in a small room. And he was talking and communicating with Kamisei in this desperation. And then he, with communication, Tenchi kind of he composed final version, Tenchi Katsu, just 4-line message. Some people say this 4-line message contains every single teaching in the Kyoten Korea. But the nature of Tenchi Katsu is kind of memo. When you go shopping, usually we remember what I should buy or should buy. Just like what I should buy. It's a menu. So we do not forget Kami-sama's blessing. Konko Dai said, this is not the object of worship. But to remind. Anyway, so historical background, so so difficult to understand. Okay, and I wanted to know maybe the nature of the Tenchikakisuke can be applicable today, today's world, with any historical background. That's all my message. 生ける金光大師、天地界の真におかげを学校に今月今日で just 4 lines. Actually, when I work in the morning, I write down daily prayer book with fountain pen. In the first place, I write down this message, Tenchikakisuke. And then, yeah, for every single day, I keep on writing this Tenchikakisuke. And for daily prayers, I recite Tenchikakisuke in the prayers 3 times. So even in the Goshinmais, you can find Tenchikakisuke inside. So Tenchikakisuke is everywhere in our faith life. When I recite, when I look at the message, what do you remember? What do you see? I say this is a sign, kind of direction. Remember, Tenchi Konko Daiken, Tenchi and pray for her. It's such a simple message. When I was here about 45 years ago, soon after we came here, I had a dream. Then fearful dream I never had while sleeping. This teacher, usually this teacher was inside the office. And then the inside paper so slowly sit down, and I say nothing in the frame. It's empty. The better way in Japanese. I was so astounded, so big. Gosh! So I knew the message is so vital for me. As Konko means. Message at the outer disappeared. Can be a kind of message. I may disappear, maybe I may die. But this is what we die for that. Yeah. That could be the message. As soon after that, we replaced, took away the Tenchikakisuke from over here. Anyway, this is the, although Konko-sama said, this is just a memories, remind. But the Gohonbu and many of the churches place this message memo in the center of the hour. So this can be very vital for Konko believers. If you do not remember, if you look at this, you can always remember. That's enough. And pray, extend your prayer. That can be the prayers of Konko ministers. And actually, when every year, at the Memorial Days, we visit the Punchbowl Memorial Cemetery. In our church, Wahiawa church, this Midnight Memorial Park. And at each grave site, we cite Tenchikakisuke. And when we started, initially at 45 years ago, we just went to the place, and the ceremony began, the candles was off. So sound. And soon after, we just placed a bunch of flag, the base of the main flagpole station. and then pray world peace by reciting Tenji Kakusu. And we visit each gravesite, about 25 another. But we silently prayed. And eventually we try to say, recite Tenji Kakusu at every single gravesite. It is strange. Why do we have to say Tenji Kakusu for the deceased people, for the Mitamas? But Tenji Kakusu can be linked. Everybody, even Mitaman spirit can share a Konko believers. So it can be quite meaningful. So we keep on reciting Tenji Kakusu and extend also to the Mitaman. Anyway, thank you very much. 義愛本当我が天地の神に願いおかげは心にあり神に頼め義愛本当我が天地の神に願いおかげは心にあり今月もちで頼め
これからなくて、Founder's Biography です。
Acknowledgement. The seeds for this publication were planted when at least 2 believers in North America obtained advance copies of the Japanese version of the new biography described by Reverend Reverend Nobuharu Uzunoe and Dr. Katsumi Miyai realized that what they were holding in their hands had the potential to fill a void in the Western understanding of the Konko faith and could aid in the faith development of English-speaking believers. This was especially true for Dr. Miyai, who had led the group that published the first English language biography, completed in 1981.
The project became a reality when in December 2003 the House of Delegates and the Ministry Board of Review of the Konko Churches of North America approved the effort. Together they formalized the Konko Daijin Translation Project and authorized initial funding. This was followed by a meeting in San Francisco, California, where a delegation including members of the KDTP met with a delegation representing the Konko International Center. The result of that meeting was a plan to move forward. As the translation of the Japanese language text posed an especially daunting task for the KDTP members, KIK committed to supplying the KDTP members with the initial English language translation of the Japanese text.
The KIC staff, utilizing its organizational skills and international reach, recruited volunteers from around the world, including Japan, North America, and Hawaii, to translate portions of the Japanese text. These were typically individual chapters of the book. Their staff then received the translated works, reviewed them for consistency, incorporated applicable Kyoto passages, and forwarded the works to the KDTP committee.
For the KDTP members, preparing the book for publication was the priority. But at this time, Mr. Miyai stressed an equal, if not more important aspect of this project. According to Dr. Miyai, preparing material for this project should be a vehicle to educate as many young believers as possible.
While awaiting the initial translation of assigned portions of the text, the KDTP members were making decisions on how to organize them at that time. In other words, lunar dates would be used until the Meiji Restoration, after which the calendar changed to Gregorian system. In addition, period names such as Keio would be omitted except when necessary for the storyline with the notation of the actual year. B. The foreword in the original text written by Reverend Hajime Suzuki would be placed in the new text. C. Original place names would be kept and, where applicable, include an indicator of its present name in parentheses. D. Name of individuals would be written with the first name, followed by the last name. E. Use of Japanese terms would be limited. Exceptions were made for names of people, places, deities. F. When the age of an individual was used, the traditional method of considering a newborn to be age 1 at the time of birth was not included. G. Honorific name endings such as sama were excluded. And H. The main body of the original text contained 21 chapters. As the project progressed, the KDTP felt these should be consolidated.
In retrospect, the first English biography of Konko Daijin, which was published in 1981, was a labor of love. With today's technology unavailable, the translating members used reams upon reams of paper, manually typing, retyping, and retyping again with each new edit and reorganization decision made. Trips to a local duplicating center were also part of the translating experience of the first biography. It was Dr. Miyai who compiled notebook after notebook of each version of the biography for posterity. Preparing the material for final printing was also a daunting task in contrast to what is available today. The entire text had to be proportionally typed with virtually no typing errors, whereupon it was given to a professional printing company for printing and binding. Dr. Miyai's vision of that project was also significant because that biography became the first tool of educating English-speaking believers about Konko Daijin. Although that was not obvious to many on that team until long after the project was complete. The realization of Dr. Miyai's vision can be seen on the acknowledgement page of that first biography, where the reader will see the names of the numerous individuals who participated in the translation work.
Admittedly, today's technology advances have made the completion of the second English language be a less daunting task. Having said that, some may then ask why the project encompassed a longer period of time. There are several factors which may provide an explanation. First, many of those participating in this second effort were previously involved with the first Bible project. That experience and the knowledge that the first project infused in them brought more depth, longer discussions, and critical thinking into the writing of the second biography. Second, the passing of Dr. Miyai in November of 2016 left an enormous void of knowledge, leadership, and moral support which to this day has yet to be filled completely.
The Konko translation members, including the spirit of Dr. Miyai, have a following aspiration for anyone who reads this second English language biography of Konko. First, the reader will be introduced to a unique individual who went from farmer to founder of the spiritual life. Second, the reader be able to further enhance their own faith to help fulfill the wishes of God. Third, each reader will begin to participate in creating a world where spirituality and security Okay. Okay.
おはようございます。Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming and attending. ただいまから歌を、4つ歌わせていただきます。4 songs we're going to sing. So page 57、新人の栄光からです。よろしくお願いいたします。高平にてる。本当。
愛 In a heart caught up in doubt and worry, I face my life every morning, wanting to shine, but somehow holding back joy and fear grow within my heart. Till I know even one as small as I can run into someday and find a shining, shimmering, brilliant light glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads up high. For we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives. When I'm down and ready to surrender, when times are hard and it seems so dark, just knowing each day that I'm never on my own gives me strength and courage to try harder. Holding hands with my friends standing by my side, singing on together we will walk to a shining, shimmering, brilliant light glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads up high. For we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads up high. For we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives.
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much. See you next time. Please take care.
南金剛大臣、天地金の神、真に願い、おかげは我が心にあり、今月今日で頼み。池上金剛大臣、天地金の神、真に願い、おかげは我が心にあり、今月今日で頼み。はい、ありがとうございました。Thank you very much for joining us today. Reminder, tomorrow is our President's Day garage sale from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Holiday, so come and see what we have. There's a lot of things that people are about. Oh, Rotary Hanashikai meeting. It's going to be on Zoom. Waipahu Church is hosting. It will be on Sunday, March 6th. 10:30 a.m. Let me see. Oh yeah, the theme: how do you use your hands to spread joy and comfort, especially in these difficult times with COVID-19? So the topic is, well, everyone is pretty crafty with their things. They do origami, they make Gundam like my husband. They like to cook. So for this, they would like for you to share your talent. What amazing things can you make with your hands? What amazing things you can do for your hands. And so that will be a topic for the Rotary Hanashikai meeting. So we hope you can join us. Oh, extending your hand to help others in support too. Oh, so in Japanese, the theme is Teo sashinoberu. Extending your hand means to help others or provide support. Well, anyways, that's the topic. So hope you can join us. Thank you. Bye-bye.